Hi guys, it's Amber and welcome back to the Glam Zone. I'm so happy that you guys are back watching my new video, and today's video is going to be a brow tutorial. The brow tutorial that I am going to teach you guys. I'm going to do one of my brows with the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade and the other brow with brow powder. So if you guys want to see, obviously this is how it turned out, but if y'all want to see how to get to these brows with either powder or Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade, then keep on watching. Alright, so for the first tutorial, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Medium Brown, along with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Angled Brush in Spoolie 2-in-1. Now the Spoolie in Angled Brush looks like this. It has the brow filler on one side and the spoolie on the other side. It comes in handy so you don't have to pack two brushes. It's a 2-in-1. I would highly recommend getting that brush even if you don't use the dip pomade, because it's just great all together. So now let's get into it. Alright, so I'm just going to take a little bit of the dip pomade and I'm just going to do one sweep in my little container. And now what one sweep is going to do is a little bit goes a long way, and that's what a lot of people don't understand about this. So now I'm going to go with my spoolie side and I'm just going to brush through my brows real nice and quick, just to kind of get the shape that I want. A lot of people say, well, pull up all the hair so you can trace every single piece of hair. No, honey. I don't have time to trace every single piece of hair, but I want my brows to look good. So I'm going to teach you how to do that without having to mark every single piece of hair. Alright, so now you have your product on your angled brush side. So what you're going to do is you're going to start at the middle of your brow and pull back and kind of do an underline of the brow. So I'm going to take my brush with the product and I'm going to start at the middle of my brow, and a little bit goes a long way, y'all, so y'all really don't have to get a new amount every single time. Alright, so I did my outline on the underside of half of my brow. Now I'm going to go on top and do the same exact thing. And I'm just going to shape whatever shape I want. I can make them curvy, I can make them sharp with a sharp arch. This allows you to play. The pomade allows you to play. So now I'm going to take all that excess and I'm going to fill in the brow from there. So all the extra, I didn't get any more. I'm just using whatever I haven't used from my lower line. And if it looks messy, it's okay. I'm going to teach you a trick to get a perfect shape too and a clean look once we're done filling in. Okay, so that is the difference, and that's just the middle of the brow. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the brush from the first part of my brow and I'm just going to underline the bottom. Do not do the top, because if you outline the top of your brow, you're going to get a box shape and it's going to be super dark. It's going to look like you went with a brown or black marker, and it's not going to look good. So my suggestion would be to get whatever excess you have on the brush already. Don't get another dip, because that'll make it even darker also. Get your angled brush and start at the bottom of the brow and just pull back. Just one sweep. Alright, now the trick is to hold the angled brush sideways and then pull up, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So here, and I'm just going to pull, and I'm going to kind of sweep to kind of, and you just pull it up. You just pull the excess up, and that will give you the fade that every girl these days wants. And like for me, I have a gap right here, so I'm going to want to just do a couple little sweeps just to fill that in enough to where I'm satisfied. Now I'm going to go in with my spoolie on the front part of my eyebrow, and I'm just going to kind of shake and pull up and shake like that. And what that'll do is get all the extra clumps and stuff and make them like give you that hair-like effect. Then I'm just going to brush through one more time, and that's it. With the pomade, it's super easy. But now people might be asking, Amber, that's messy, like mine looks messy. Well, okay, calm down, I've got you. The next thing we're gonna do to give you the clean, sharp, perfect brow that every girl loves is we're gonna go in with a flat tipped makeup brush. And I'm gonna show you what the flat tip looks like. So this is the flat tip makeup brush. It's a flat, obviously, flat tip, and it's kind of in the shape of a U, an upside down U. we're gonna take this and we're gonna take your concealer. I use Wet n Wild concealer. You don't have to go get Tarte concealer to cover up all your hairs. I got this for like $3. It's Wet n Wild and it works. It does what I need to get done. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a little bit of your concealer and you're gonna just put it on your hand, or you can put it directly on the brush, however you like. I personally put mine on my hand, just like that. So now I'm gonna go in with one side of the brush and I'm just gonna pat, if you can see, I'm just gonna pat just like that and get enough product so that it'll be able to cover. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my brush and the same exact thing. You're gonna start at the middle and then do the front. Okay, so you're gonna do the middle of the brow first on the bottom. And you have to do this super careful because you don't wanna get concealer on your brow. And that'll just give you the sharpness. So you do the concealer on the bottom first, and then you get the concealer on the front. And you can get as much product as you need to cover up any extra hairs, any mess, and you just use it to cover all that up, just like that. And then we're not gonna do the same thing. We're not doing the front of the brow. We're gonna do the middle of the top part of the brow. So you're gonna start at the middle and you're going to just pull down, and that'll give you the sharpness of the tip of the brow, and then you just blend it out and it gives you that clean, perfect brow. Alright, so that wraps up the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade side of my brow, and that's how you do it. If you have any more questions about how to use the dip brow, where I bought it, how much it cost, then comment down below and I will answer you as quickly as I can. Now, if you guys are the people who use powder for your brows, I'm gonna teach you how to get this look on this brow. Now, it's gonna feel different, it's gonna take a little bit longer, but that's okay, we got time. Okay, so my goal is to make this brow look as much as this one, but with powder. So if y'all are powder users for your brow, then keep on watching. Alright, so I'm gonna go in with the Wet n Wild brow powders. These have 4 colors. I already hit pan on one of the colors. I use it religiously sometimes. So there's a light shade, a medium, a dark, and then a reddish, like a brown, but it has a reddish tint. I have brown hair, so I'm gonna go with the browns on this brow. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with a separately angled brush. This one is just a little bit bigger. It has a bigger angle and it's better. And then I'm gonna use the spoolie from my Anastasia Beverly Hills one. Okay, so for this brow, I'm going to do the same exact thing, but with powder. So I'm going to brush out my brow. Do not brush your hairs up, y'all. It's not necessary. It's really not. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with the second lightest shade, so the one that has the least amount in it. I'm gonna go in with that one first. So you're always gonna wanna go one shade higher than the color of your root. So you pick your root and go a shade higher than that to start off, and then we can darken the further we go. So I'm gonna go with this one first, and I'm just gonna get quite a little bit, just tap off the excess, and we're gonna start in the middle of the brow, the exact same way as we do with the pomade, and we're just gonna start brushing. For this one, I'm gonna fill in the complete center of my brow first, and then I'm just gonna keep on. I have a gap in this eyebrow, so what I'm gonna do is leave a little bit of the excess on and fill in that gap, because who wants a gap in their eyebrow? Nobody. So we're just gonna fill that in. This is gonna take longer, y'all, so it's okay. Don't be like, oh, well, why take 10 minutes just to do one eyebrow? I understand, it's okay. Everybody gets better. It's just practice. It takes a lot of practice to get perfected on your eyebrows. Okay, so I went halfway through with one color. Obviously it's not this dark. Okay, well, how do we get it that dark? We're gonna go in with the darker shade that matches your roots. So I'm gonna go in with the darkest shade of the 4, and I'm gonna do the same thing, and I'm just gonna kind of color in all like this, and I'm just gonna color and fill in my brows until my heart's desire of the darkness that I want. I don't want my brows jet black, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. And it's okay if it's messy, because that is one thing that I love about carving, is you don't have to use the dip pomade to carve. You can use any kind of brow, anything. You can use a brow pencil, you can use brow powder, you can use dip brow, anything, and you can carve it out and it'll all turn out with the same look. And that's what I love about it also. So you can see it's darkening, but it's still not to the darkness of the dip brow. So we're gonna keep going until it gets that dark. So we're just gonna keep filling in that brow until you get to the darkness that you want. Now make sure to continuously brush through to make sure you're not feeling like messing up any spots or forgetting spots. You see, this powder is going all over my eyebrow. It's really hard to see because it's not zoomed in enough, but this is all over my face and it's powder, so don't freak out if it gets all over your face. We'll clean that up later. But just keep going until you get your heart's desire of how you want your brow and how dark. Okay, so this is about how dark I think I want my brow, and we can always go in later and fix it. But now I'm gonna do the front of my brow. For this one, I am gonna use the Anastasia Beverly Hills because it's more defined, it's a little smaller. I'm gonna go in with the shade that I used to begin with, and I'm going to underline my brow right at the front. You're gonna pull from the front and pull outwards. Oh. Okay. And that's what that looks like. All right, and now once you do that one line, you're gonna wanna go back to the other brush. So I'm just gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna pull. I'm pulling up that product, and it's powder, so it moves a little bit faster than the dip brow does, which that's one of the benefits that I like to using the powder also. So I'm just gonna keep on messing with my brow, darkening it as much as I'd like until I get the look that I want. And you can also use the spoolie technique on here too, with the shaking out and the brushing up and all that. Everything that you learned in the last tutorial you can use in this one also. It's the same exact concept. It looks a little different, but this one's gonna look so much cleaner once we carve it out. So I think that that's just about where I want to finish. Now what I am going to do is go in one more time with my Anastasia one. It does not have to be Anastasia, by the way, you guys. It can just be a thinner brow brush, but it does not, let me make that very clear, it does not have to be one of these brushes. So I'm just going to go in with the darkest shade and just get those little gaps that are just not wanting to fill in on their own, and kind of help them out just a little bit. Brush this out here, and now y'all can tell that that is messy. Like, it is so messy. So let's clean it up. Now with powder, it probably is going to be a little bit different, but it's the same exact thing. You do the same thing. It's just going to be a little harder to kind of clean it up, just because the powder might blend with the concealer, which is one thing you want to expect, but not fear, because it's okay. Like, we can clean it up. Just add a little bit extra if it does that. But you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna get one part of the brush and like cover it in concealer, and then we're gonna start the middle of the brow. Then we are going to pull under all the way and then do over, and we'll be finished. All right, so this one we're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna start at the middle of your brow and just carve out all there. Okay. You see, and this powder for me is blending a lot with my concealer. So another thing you could also do is just get that, like a makeup wipe or something like that, a little piece of toilet paper, and that should kind of help you clean up that excess that's blending with your concealer. It's not a problem at all. So you're just going to want to blend that out. And blend it out to your heart's desire. And I do have a little bit that I even need to clean up. So it's not like oh, she does it perfect. No. It takes a lot of trial and error and a lot of practice to perfect the way that you want your own brows. And everyone's brows are different. So for me, whenever I have somebody that's like, oh, do my brows, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do your brows because I don't know your shape. I don't know how you like them. So it's a lot of questions, and that's okay. So I am just gonna clean up this top layer because I already cleaned it. I already carved it out. So I'm just gonna clean it up just like that. I'm gonna go with my spoolie one more time, brush through all these hairs, and then just perfect the lines one more time with the color that we started off with. Don't use the darkest color after you've already carved, because it makes it harder. And then you can always go back in if you add a little bit to the tip and just get that angle perfect and how you like it. Alright, you guys, so what do you think? How did I do? Alright, you guys, so this is the finished look for today's video. I had so much fun making this video. I went ahead and put some makeup on so y'all could see what it would look like completely done with a full face of makeup. Both brows look the same in my opinion, but how they would look with makeup on, so I went ahead and did that. If you guys like this video, then please smash that like button, because every like just makes me so happy, because I know that you guys like to see this kind of stuff. And so smash that like button, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and if you are new, I really hope you guys like this video, and thank you for watching. And y'all tune in every single Friday for a new video. I love you guys. Bye.